It makes things a lot clearer for me. It makes the lesson more fun.
Definitely worthwhile. Got a whole new aspect to learning.
Much more exciting.
There's lots of wows, isn't this amazing?
It's helped me realise what they weren't understanding.
The most amazing technological leap.
That really does help with some issues.
For just under a year now, the Abbey School in Reading has been using 3D DLP projection in the classroom. The Abbey School is an independent day school for girls with over 1,000 pupils from the age of 3 to 18. In particular, the school is willing to embrace new technologies that enhance teaching and learning, and it was the first in the world to be equipped with 3D DLP projection.
The initial reactions of the pupil to 3D were absolutely phenomenal. They were already used to it from cinema and various other aspects, but certainly not in the classroom. So it really excited them. Their motivation was very high. The most significant thing from my perspective was the lack of any fuss, any extra effort in putting the technology into the classroom and achieving success. If teachers or strategic leaders were looking at putting 3D in the classroom, I would say to them that they must not worry. The cost will be very, very low from the perspective of the projector. It costs no more at all. The software is really, really cost effective. And the glasses manufacturers now are working very much with educators. The active glasses that you need are a much better price than they were before, and of much better quality. I'm very excited with working with the children in being able to interact with the projection and seeing how far that will enhance their teaching and learning.
It showed how big things really were.
But it's more interesting when it's 3D. You've got a far better concept of what's actually going on than just looking at it in a textbook or looking at it on the board.
Use it for about 10 to 15 minutes, I would say, maximum in the lesson, and it's really just taking the place of a model. So it doesn't run the lesson for me. I build the lesson as I normally would build the lesson, and instead of using a model or instead of using a picture, I would be using the 3D. So the difference between using the 3D and a 3D model is that with the model, only a small number of pupils can see because it's obviously fairly small. But with the 3D, all the girls can actually see it at the same time. And also things can move within it, which they can't in the model. What I can't believe is just the difference it's made to the girls' understanding. I had no idea that when we taught them in 2 dimensions, they couldn't picture what the cell looked like in 3 dimensions. And yet when I taught it 3D, our year 7s, who are 11, were saying how could they make a model when the whole of the outside would just look like cell wall, and they couldn't see how could they show what was inside?
It helps me during lessons because you can actually see what the object looks like and what's on it and what's around it.
I love the way you can really see it in your mind, and because it's 3D, it's just really interesting and fun, and it really captivates you.
My experience with 3D has firstly been that the kids have been really engaged in the material that we've been looking at. We did some taster lessons for year 5 students, and they were trying to get up off their seats and reach for things they could see coming out of the screen. Despite telling them time and time again it's a 3-dimensional object, unless they can really see that, it's just not, they just don't believe it. In terms of the students and how on task they are and focused, I think the 3D has really helped to keep them interested, to focus them, and they're definitely all eyes at the front looking at exactly what's going on while the 3D image is being projected. Having seen how it really reinforces students' learning, and how there's obviously so many things that students really don't fully understand unless they can see it in 3 dimensions, that it's a fascinating tool, and I think the more software we have and the more we can use it in lessons, it'll be absolutely fantastic.
It's different from a textbook because the image becomes more in-depth and alive, and you actually get to see the layers of the image, and it becomes more real to you.
I like the fact that it shows you how things would be in real life, whereas in a book it's completely flat and just a picture or a drawing.
One particular class were taught in 2D using a book. The other class, both 11-year-olds, were taught in 3D using a projection, and both were asked exactly the same task: make a model of what you have learned. The children who had been taught in 3D made 3D models, and the children who'd been taught in 2D made 2D flat models. It was quite amazing.
The Embrook School in Wokingham has also been using 3D DLP projection in the classroom. The Embrook School is a thriving comprehensive school with over 1,000 pupils and offers specialist teaching and facilities in maths and computing. It's been testing 3D DLP projection in helping to teach biology.
I've been using 3D data projectors now for 6 months, and it has made a positive impact on my teaching. It's helped the students to understand difficult concepts, and it adds another dimension to lessons. The students who did their revision using 3D performed better and got better marks on those portions of the test. When I use 3D mostly is in consolidation lessons. I'll use it to revise, to finish off topics and make sure that students have got a good understanding of what we've covered in lessons. Students at the back of the room actually get a better view of the 3D than the students at the front, because the image comes out of the screen. Students who are less interested in science, would actually get more from the lessons than otherwise.
I really like 3D because it's really enjoyable. It almost brings the whole lesson to life, and it's just a really social aspect to have in the classroom. It's really good.
My favourite lesson would have to be the lung lesson, because it showed how the lungs functioned with each other.
I find 3D lessons a lot more interactive than normal lessons. It gets you so much more involved and it gives you such a hands-on experience.
I would recommend 3D to other teachers. It helps students to visualise difficult concepts, helps them understand.
All you need to set up a 3D classroom is a 3D-ready DLP projector, a computer, 3D glasses and 3D content software. DLP is the all-digital imaging device used inside the projector to reflect light digitally and create a stunning image. A 3D-ready DLP projector works like a standard 2D projector, but also uses the DLP device to project a 3D image on the screen. DLP technology is also used in digital cinema projectors and handheld projectors around the world, and is used in nearly half of all projectors sold today. Hundreds of thousands of 3D-ready DLP projectors have already been sold, with 70 models in 14 brands available on the market today, making it easy to pick the projector that best suits your needs. The special active shutter 3D glasses interact directly with the projector thanks to unique DLP Link technology that requires no other external device or transmitter. The 3D-ready DLP projector and glasses synchronize perfectly to provide a seamless 3D viewer experience. 3D content software is now available from many companies that provides teachers with a wide range of topics they can use in the classroom in maths, science, history and geography. Recent digital video cameras on the market even allow teachers and pupils to create their own 3D content. Setting up a 3D DLP classroom couldn't be easier. Simply plug your standard 3D-ready DLP projector into your computer using a standard VGA cable, switch it on and you've got your PC desktop on the screen. Just check that your graphics card is set to 120 Hz to enable stereoscopic 3D projection. You can do this in the display option of the PC's control panel. You can confirm 3D mode is on by pressing the menu button on a projector. With the projector set up, just launch the 3D software on the computer and you're ready to go. Remember that the sensor in the middle of the active shutter 3D glasses must have a direct line of sight view of the screen. With a 3D-ready DLP projector in the classroom, you and your pupils are ready to take the next step in the evolution of learning.